Ivan Katz here with a very cool find. Wham-O Frisbee discs. Basically a beginner's kit, and it's from about 2013, I think. New in the box, and I'm going to unbox it and throw them. It's a fairway driver, a mid-range, and a putter, as you would expect. And the instructions on the back are quite funny. So I'll talk about those, and I will see how these only 7-year-old discs throw. But I have some old Wham-O Frisbee discs in my collection. My putter is an 86 putter from 1989. So I'm anxious to see if this one is similar or not, and whether these are understable, stable, or overstable. So let's unbox them and find out. Okay, so I unboxed them as precisely as I could to keep the box intact, in case I want to just keep them in the box as a collectible. But first impressions are, oh my god, I'm not expecting great things from them. The putter, it's pretty stiff plastic. It's, I don't know, pretty cheap. They do all have weights on them. So the putter here is 168, and they all have numbers on them, and it looks like maybe they were all manufactured May 13th, or May of 2013, that is. But I thought maybe there would be some information on them. They say like SZ and S7, I believe, on the bottom. But like I said, this one is 168 grams for the putter, and I thought it would be more like my 86 putter, but it's really not. It's not kind of as soft. It's like an 86 softy, it's called. So this is a little harder, and there it is from the side. And then let's go to the mid-range. So the mid-range here, also quite stiff. A little bit of flexibility up here, so maybe it's got a little bit of glide to it, but no identifying factors except 173.5 ounces, and again that 513 number on the bottom. And there you have it, the mid-range. And then on to the fairway driver here. Yeah, that's a fairway driver. It's got a weird, I think it's got a pointy top there. I think it's been in the box too long, but it is 172 grams, and again, no real name on it, but it does look like it is certainly going to be a fairway driver of some sort. I cannot imagine these discs being that great, but I will next take them to the field and throw them. And it was a $25 cost, basically. But this is kind of funny right here. Fairway driver. Slices through the air for extra long drives. Start each hole with this disc. And then it says it in en français. And I can even read you the French. Why not? Le driver peut tranche leur poids, obtenir des coups ultra long. Commencez chaque trou avec ce disque. So there you go, same thing in French. The mid-range, and a driver is a driver in French, and mid-range is a disque d'approche. So an approach disc, very nice, and tells you the length of them, 21.7 centimeters. 21.10 for the driver, 21.7 for the mid-range, and 21.2 for the putter. So there you go. And on to the mid-range here. The mid-range approach holds a line, so it's perfect for mid to long drives. And then the putter will hold a line, then drop to the target. Use this disc to putt into the target basket. And of course it says use the mid-range after your driver to approach the target, meaning the basket, of course. Okay, so there you go, the disc pack from Frisbee Wham-O with the driver, mid-range, and putter. Now, let's see how they throw. Okay, so I'm in the field with these 3 Frisbee Wham-O discs. new from the package. And I know how I think they're going to fly. How do I think they're going to fly? I think they're going to be understable. What is understable? This is my 86 putter, and here it is next to the new putter. Now this one is very soft, and this one is not as soft. So I'm still thinking it'll be understable like this old Frisbee Wham-O 86 putter from 1989. So let's see if 14 years later it's the same. Probably not, but let's see. This is my putter, and when I throw it hard with a lot of hyzer, it's going to turn up and go straight, or sometimes even curve left. So, okay, let's say the basket is straight ahead and about 50 feet maybe. Let's see if I can get it to do what it should do. Okay, a little far, but you saw it turn over. Now, let's see how this putter goes. I've never thrown this putter before. I'll throw it with some hyzer, not as much hyzer, in case it's more stable. Now again, an understable disc for the forehand flick should turn up like that. That's a hyzer flip. Hyzer and then flip up. Understable or flippy will do that. Right hand, backhand, understable or flippy will do this. Now overstable is going to hold the line or even curve away that way. And for the forehand flick, overstable will hold the line and then fade. It will not turn over. So let's see what this putter does. Start with a putter. Yeah, actually I like that. It was beautiful. It just turned over and stayed straight. So that's more like what I want my mid-ranges to do. So that actually is probably a good approach disc for me, putt approach. And that was the first throw ever with it. Now, let me show you a stable to overstable disc, my Halo Air, which I throw all the time in my videos. I'll put this on a line. Maybe I'll give it a little hyzer. Might turn up a little bit, but it should just stay flat. I'll try to throw it as flat as I can to show you what a stable disc should do. So there you go. It held the line, turned up a little bit, held the line, and then faded. So that to me is stable. Used to be more overstable, but it's broken in a bit. Discs tend to break in and get more understable over time. Okay, now the mid-range, and I'm going to throw it as flat as I can and see what characteristics it has. I would call that a pretty stable disc. Kind of threw it flat and turned over a little bit. So I would call that stable to a hair understable. Now the numbers on the discs, the first one is speed. It's going to be lower for putters in the middle, say 4 to 6 for a mid-range, 7 to 9 for a fairway driver, and that's what this one is, the fairway driver. And to me, if you look at these two discs, I have a D4 here that I've thrown in some of my videos lately. I just added it to my bag. It's an SBK Lightning D4, and it tends to be pretty stable for me. I'm going to throw that first because you can see it's very similar to this fairway driver in this Frisbee pack. So let's see. First I'll throw the one I have thrown before, the D4. Let's see what happens. I really like that disc. It's just a very straight, great approach disc. If you have like a tight fairway with trees, I like that disc for that. And I imagine this will be the same. Let's find out. So that disc was a bit overstable for me. Again, it's the first time I threw it, and as you throw these discs and break them in, they will get more stable. So there you go. That's a good fairway driver, I think, and will be useful in the future. So overall, ultimately, for my new Frisbee Wham-O beginner starter set with the putter mid-range and driver, I think they could be actually useful discs. They're not quite as bad as I thought they'd be. I thought they'd be terrible when I first opened them up, but as you hit trees with them, I think they'll loosen up a little bit. However, sort of like DX plastic, so they could break. I'm not sure if they were unbreakable by that point. Very funny story. One of the first times I ever played disc golf on a real course, we used to just throw at trees back in the day. I won't tell you what year that was, but basically in the late 80s when I was actually playing on a real course, my brother and I went out and we bought new discs and we were all fired up, and literally on number 2 at Bluemont in Arlington, Virginia, great course. I have many videos there, check it out. He literally threw a disc, and we both flicked, we kind of throw the same way, but he threw a disc, hit a tree like 10 feet in front of him, and it just shattered in half. And it was like, it was so incredibly funny because we had just bought the discs. It was so funny. So technology has really improved recently. These discs are basically unbreakable, even in DX plastic, and if they're like Champion or things like that, they're very, very durable. So we are definitely lucky these days, but again, the old technology I think is not too bad either. There's a video recently where Simon Lizotte went out and threw basically the equivalent of, I think, a fairway driver here that I was throwing, which for him would be super understable, versus like a more stable driver, and he got 100 more feet out of it. That to me was a silly comparison because, you know, he's a pro, he should know better. The discs have different characteristics, you know. Basically, these pros throw hammers that most players, certainly beginner to intermediate players, can't get to turn over like they get them to turn over. I mean, it's amazing to see these basically very, for me, overstable discs, and the pros throw them, and they just, that's why they get 400, 500 feet, and some of them, you know, even more. It's just absolutely amazing to see what some of these great throwers do, and that's the joy of disc golf. Everyone can play it, everyone can enjoy it, and everyone can improve on their game. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Check out my other videos where I actually play rounds at courses. I just played the Hollows in New Hampshire. Check that video out. I played the north side and the south side. That's a very interesting course on both sides. Lots of courses in Florida that I've played recently, and I'll be editing another course very soon. So subscribe here, like my videos please, share them with your friends, share them on Facebook to your disc golf groups, and I hope you enjoy them. Check out also my music video for Free Your Mind, which has a lot of my guitar collection in it and some of my car collection too. As some of you know, I'm Drivin Ivan. I review cars, and you can just Google Drivin Ivan in any car and check those out. But at any rate, follow me on Twitter and Instagram too. And thanks for watching. I'm Ivan Katz.